Welcome to the SnowsBest.com podcast, It Takes a Village series, where we chat with Aussie athletes on their road to the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics and the village of people that helped get them there, from coaches to family members, judges, besties, officials, and more with your host, Miss Snow-It-All, Rachel Oakes-Ash.
I'm super excited this week to welcome a really good friend of mine, Tori Beattie, to the SnowsBest It Takes a Village podcast. Tori is originally Australian. We claim all the Kiwis that live in Wanaka as our own. Zoe Sadowski-Sennett, she was born in Australia. Alice Robinson, she was born in Australia. Tori, were you born in Australia?
Oh, Hobart, Tasmania. I am Australian. I wouldn't claim myself as Kiwi at all. I just live here.
Okay, I love it. That's awesome. But you are an official Kiwi Fist World Cup and Olympic judge, yes? Are you?
No, I judge under the Australian flag, so I'm an official Australian judge. I just happen to live in New Zealand.
Oh my God, this is awesome. So we have two Australian judges because we had Zoe Jabor on the other day. I thought that New Zealand got an allocation of judges and you were it.
No, it's been in my benefit to keep my Australian flag working here. I'm Australian judge through and through.
Mm. And we forgot to mention Janina, as you mentioned. Janina Kuzma, also another Australian, born here, lives in New Zealand. We'll take them all if they win medals.
There's heaps of them.
We'll take them all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good. We just keep adding to our own medal tally. They'll hate us for it, but whatever. We'll still take it. It's all good. So talk us through. Let's let everyone know a little bit about your history because you started as an athlete. Yep.
I did a long, long time ago now. Yeah, I started as an athlete in the very early days of free skiing. Loved it. It was my passion. It's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I had some pretty massive injuries to my back and my knee in the early or mid-2000s that kind of stopped my own athletic journey. That's when I first got into judging, and I also coached for a bit there. I had an awesome few years with Anna Segal that was special, and
you took her to some pretty crazy heights.
Oh yeah, they were awesome days. Yeah,
I mean, she won a Fist World Championship, didn't she? And she won numerous. I'm pretty sure she got a Fist World Championship.
Yeah, and she had some World Cup medals, X Games medals, Dew Tour. We went to the Olympics in Sochi, the first ever free skiing Olympics, and that's when kind of that relationship ended. And because she retired from competitive skiing at that stage, I came back to NZ and over the years just decided to focus more on the judging side of things to stay in touch. I tried other world jobs. It just wasn't for me. My passion was always with skiing. So this was a way to bring me back to it.
What was the hardest other world job that you did?
The hardest?
Yeah.
Just anything.
Almost boring.
Just anything that's in an office. I'm just not suited for that.
No, I don't think you are either. No, I don't think I am either, just quietly. So you are now, and that was all in free ski. So what are you officially judging at Livigno in the Winter Olympics?
Officially judging free ski, slopestyle, potentially halfpipe and big air. Hasn't been sorted out, but yes. So free skiing, park and pipe at Livigno Olympics. And
you'll also be commentating for BBC, I hear.
Well, if I'm not putting in scores, I'll be putting out some chat.
Okay, a bit of banter, bit of banter. We love that. So talk us through, if you're somebody who is watching the Olympics or watching the Fist World Cup, is the judging between the Olympics and the Fist World Cup different protocols?
No, they're exactly the same. So it's the FIS is determining that protocol. So they are the same.
Okay, well that's great. So that's not too hard to cross from one to the other. But if you're an armchair watcher and you're an armchair judge, if I'm watching free ski half pipe, what am I looking for in judging? Like, is it divided by particular certain percentage for air, certain percentage for tricks, certain percentage for finishing? Like, what is it?
No, so free skiing, we use it's called a judging method called overall impression. And it tries to be as vague and flexible as possible in that we're ranking competitors from first to last, a number out of 0 to 100. Within this scheme, we kind of have 5 criteria that we look at: progression, amplitude, variety, execution, and difficulty. So those aren't set kind of 20% each. They're kind of different levers that we use to evaluate people and rank them. But ultimately, we come out with a score. The score is a mechanism used to rank people. And that's it. It can be quite hard to follow at home. Half pipe's a bit easier. It's getting trickier these days, but people that go big, do good tricks, land cleanly, they're going to be doing well.
Okay. So in moguls, when they're competing on a mogul course, the judges are right down the bottom. They judge them from face on, so they don't judge them from the side. They don't get a video replay. This is I know, right? So what's the difference for you guys? Do you get video replays? Tell us the lot.
Oh yeah. No, we'll be for half pipe. Our view is straight up the pipe as well, but we're using cameras. We're not necessarily positioned right at the base of the half pipe. We'll be in basically a broadcast cabin. So all those kind of lined up with our own screens, head judge. We've got our own little computer system in front. We have access to replays. There's not necessarily much time to go too deep into them, but we do have access to replays and slow-mo and kind of drag things back and forth, because the details that we're looking for in order to sort these athletes, especially at an Olympic level, are tiny, tiny little details to how they've got the grab, how long they're holding it, how they're landing, all these things.
I know it's really hard, isn't it? Because you watch, like particularly snowboard half pipe. You watch snowboard half pipe. You're like, how did that person get above that person in a score? Or how did that person get below? Is it therefore like if you're first, you don't never want to be first, do you? Because you're setting the judging criteria. Really, the judging.
In terms of dropping first in an event,
you don't want to drop first.
That's and from a judging perspective, it's kind of, we call it our anchor score, because it's you roll the dice and put this number out, and everything that follows that has to be ranked above or below that number. So it's a kind of a lot of homework goes into anticipating what that run is going to be and where it's going to sit in our scale. But yeah, going first is a tricky one for sure.
So how much training do you actually have to do? Do you spend a lot of time at home reviewing videos, watching tricks? What do you do?
Yeah, for sure. So not quite as much preparation of the athletes, but there's definitely training involved in it. And especially at the high levels, you've just got to stay up with the sport and just watch everything new that's coming out, discuss all these new tricks, work out where they sit. In this day and age, especially slopestyle and big air, the magnitude of spins are just enormous. So you have to start training your brain to kind of recognize the difference between a 19 and a 21 or a 14 and a 16, like the huge magnitude of spins, the different difficulty of grabs, kind of feedback from coaches and athletes of what's harder, what's progressive, what's cool, where does everyone want this sport to go. So there's a lot of kind of back end learning, so that kind of on the day when we're in the judging booth and we have 30 to 60 seconds to evaluate this run and get a score in, you're kind of running on all that training that you've done, and it should flow relatively naturally because we have to move fast.
Do you often disagree with other judges' scores?
For sure. Yeah, that's the nature. That's why they hire 7 to 10 to 5 different opinions. We don't have a lot of time to disagree, and ultimately we have to come to some kind of general consensus about a ranking. That's what we're trying to achieve. You can differ. Numbers are everything too, so the head judge's role to keep the numbers tight. But yeah, there'll be some, and they can get heated because they're happening quite fast, discussions in the booth trying to work out before we get a score in. But that's I really enjoy that. You know, it's a high intensity environment for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What number are we up to with spins and twists and turns and tricks? What's the
big air? We'll see 23s.
What is that? Can you explain to a layperson what a 23 is?
6.5 spins around. They're often double, triple corked, grabbed to perfection, stomped like they never left the ground. Like, you know, every year we just go, surely they can't do anything more, and then the athletes just prove everyone wrong, and all the arguments that it looks terrible are kind of out the window. You know, they're executing these so well. So it's exciting and overwhelming, and it's pretty rad. So we're going to see some big spins for sure.
Well, I mean, there was some contentious judging in Beijing, wasn't there?
On the snowboard side.
Yeah, on the snowboard side, there was some serious contentious judging. What was that about? Do you remember?
Yeah. It was about just kind of missing grabs. So one of the competitors had hooked an arm under a knee rather than grabbing properly.
Yep.
And that was not properly evaluated by the judges. And so those are the things. We went into the booth after the snowboard judges. So we were acutely aware of using all the camera angles that you have. And, it's really hard. You're under intense time pressure. There's someone pacing up and down behind you to get a score in. We do have access to different angles. Our angles are different than broadcast too. So that's another one where you get thrown under a bus a bit, in that the view that goes out on telly is not necessarily what the judges see. You just got to do your best.
Thrown under a bus for that, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of pressure because these athletes are training for 4 years. They're working their asses off. They've got one day. The pressure is out of control. If somebody hasn't picked up that they grabbed the ankle and didn't grab the board, and somebody else gets a medal over you, that stays with you for the rest of your life.
100%. Yeah, these are, especially the Olympics, these are life-changing events for the athletes. They've put in so much work. They understand that we don't have a lot of time in our evaluation of these runs. We could sit around debating them all day, but we don't have that time on our side. And so you just have to do your absolute best and kind of put in all the homework on before that day.
I've said this before, though. Like, I do think, and athletes probably don't agree with me, and the world probably doesn't agree with me, but I always think that the Crystal Globe is a bigger thing to win than an Olympic medal, because an Olympic medal is one day every 4 years. The Crystal Globe is how consistent you are over a season.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think about that? Oh, okay. So tell me, when you're at the Olympics or at a FIS World Cup, you're friends with half these athletes. So
ish. I'm older. These the new wave. These kids. Yeah. I would like to be, but it's a bit weird now. I'm a bit older. I'm more friends with the coaches. That's more my cohort.
But you used to be.
I used to be, and like the younger judges in our panels are for sure. And that's kind of the whole philosophy of it, is that these athletes should be judged by a panel of their peers.
Right.
And the last thing we want is that they're kind of just a stuffy old people that sit behind clipboards that have no connection to these athletes and the kind of the living, breathing culture of these sports to keep them alive.
Does it create a different emotional dynamic, though? Should you judge them in a way that they don't agree with?
It's professional, and as a judge, you have to be as unbiased and as partial as possible, and you kind of check those relationships at the door. And when you're in the booth, you're evaluating what you see on the day. In any competition, the only person that's happy is the person that's won, ultimately. So try to keep any discussions respectful. We always back them up with facts too. We take notes on our sheets, and when everyone's coming for feedback about where they placed, you kind of trying to give them facts about how and why and what we saw and what they might see, with listening to any issues they had. But otherwise, it's got to be kept professional for sure. There's grievances, but keep them to a minimum. At
least until you get to the pub, right? So then it's fisticuffs at dawn. Let's talk about slopestyle a little bit. What are you looking for in slopestyle? How do you judge slopestyle? So let's tell everyone what slopestyle is first, if they have no clue.
Slopestyle is a different event for free skiing and snowboarding, park and pipe event. Athletes will go down a course of 6 to 10 different obstacles, I guess you can call it. It's a combination of rails, jib features, and jumps. So the athletes have to show a broad range of skills kind of in the jibbing and the air awareness and tricks and stuff. Can you explain what jibbing is? For the uninitiated? So there'll be man-made features, so different rails or boxes or wall rides or just different obstacles that the athletes, and there's normally quite a variety of them in a row that they can choose a different line through for the athletes to just do tricks where they spin and slide and all different types of things. It's a incredibly creative event, and the entire run that might compose of anything from 6 to 10, 12 different maneuvers is given one score for the overall run and ranked kind of with everyone. So it's awesome to watch. It's the biggest way for athletes to show their own kind of style and creativity, and can be incredibly difficult to judge.
Why is it difficult to judge?
Because you can often end up in a scenario of really having to compare apples and oranges, and there's so many different elements that go into an entire run, and these tiny little details are what kind of make the difference. And it can always be argued, it's ultimately a subjective judging. There's no real true objective criteria, so it's it's not a real clear winner. It's not the fastest person down, and you can't argue with the time,
Well, I mean, that's so much about free skiing, though, isn't it? It's not the fastest person down. It's not always about time. It's about elevation and what you do in the air and what you do on the ground and how you approach those rails and what kind of jump you're doing. I think slopestyle's really underrated, to be honest. I think it's a really exciting. I mean, everyone talks about half pipe. Everyone talks about, moguls. No, slopestyle is freaking impressive to be able to pull all of that together.
Yeah, it's I think it's probably really complex for people outside the sport to understand the nuance of what these athletes are doing too. But like skate street, like there's so much that goes into it, and there's such a depth of culture behind everything that goes into it too. So it might not translate.
Do you think? What's the depth of culture? What do you mean by that?
Oh, this entire free skiing movement was started. The ultimate irony is that free skiing or new school skiing, it was kind of originally emerged, was a response, this kind of rebellion against FIS taking over moguls and aerials and kind of imposing their rules on it. It was true freestyle. It was a true rebellious sport, kind of throwing out all the rules and doing cool things and being influenced by skateboarding and snowboarding and surfing and all these other kind of youth urban cultures. So the ultimate irony now is that we're back under a FIS banner and we're in the Olympics and we're trying to squeeze it into this rule books. So that you kind of, as a judge and as an athlete, you've got to be aware of all that history and that culture behind these grabs and the rail tricks and the way that people press their skis and hold their body. And like, there's so many little elements that go into everything that makes a score.
But why do you have to be aware of the culture behind it rather than just seeing it as it is today?
I mean, we do say it's the essence of evaluating what's better. There's no there's no objective way to measure who's best. There's a lot of objective-ish and subject to criteria, and so the subjective side is human, and in that carries culture and story and history, and that title, especially the Olympics. Bestowing an Olympic medal on someone is huge, and that's when it kind of permeates out into mainstream culture. And so there's a weight that the person that we are sending out to mainstream culture is the best representation of this sport per se, but culture behind that as well.
But if you're looking at it from that angle, are you also then considering the athlete's persona and morals and ethics and how they present themselves?
No, that you've got to check at the door for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, because remember back in the day when it was Sochi, we had Russ Henshaw and we had Anna Segal. And that time with Anna, when you were her coach, that was interesting because she never let on to anyone that her ACL was hanging by a thread, by an absolute thread before she went into Sochi. That would have been, can you talk us through how that felt as her coach? Because she came fourth, and we were all like, fourth. And we were sitting we were sitting at my house and I had all these different people from the industry with us and we were shouting at the screen because she should have got bronze, right? This was how we looked at it, right? That's how we saw it. We're like, no, she's got to be on that podium. And at this point, of course, we knew about the hanging by a thread ACL, which made her fourth at the Olympics even a bigger achievement than it actually was. But no one remembers fourth. Very few people remember bronze. So what was the emotional roller coaster of that for you?
Oh, the emotional roller coaster was, it doesn't begin to describe it. How did it feel? It felt heavy. I just felt so devastated for Anna. Like she was coming in such incredible form. And that injury, the timing of that was just cruel. There was no other way to put it. And she's such a battler, like those days that they're in Sochi, her and Russ and our incredible physio, Jess, there was hours of taping and strapping, like getting them ready to go into battle. And, from my perspective, I was so proud of Anna to even get through a single training run of that course and not get hurt or decide it wasn't a sensible idea. And she just pushed through and she was training so well and she started competing so well and she got through the qualification round and we made it to finals. And then I think for both of us, she was just determined and she was, none of us, I don't know from her perspective, but I didn't expect her to get through qualies. So to get into the finals and to be sitting in bronze position until I think one of the final runs of the event, it was one of the last few runs when Kim jumped over and got third. It was all, it was just like euphoric. We kind of just didn't know it was just like such an unexpected bonus to be there, and so proud of her. And I hope she was so proud of herself. And then I loved it in the one last run she had to try to like, let's go. She decided to do a big trick on that bottom jump. Didn't quite pull it off, but I was just so proud of her, just ready to send it. It was incredible that she got that far. And so fourth is gutting. Like fourth is the worst spot.
That's the worst spot to be. Yep.
But, that moment was more, that it was fourth, and there was such a closure there too. So it was just like the overwhelming feeling was the end was like, I was just so proud of her for getting through that and kind of approaching in the way she did. Just.
It's so gutting to watch though, isn't it? Because this person is not coming back for another Olympics. So you look at Jakara in Pyeongchang, she got fourth.
Yeah.
You knew she was coming back for another Olympics and she got gold, right? But you knew that Anna wasn't coming back for another Olympics. This was it. Do you think that might, and we both know Anna and we know how focused and she can be, which is what makes an elite athlete.
Yeah.
Was it her mindset that got her through to that final at the Olympics because it was the Olympics? Do you think she would have done that at a FIS World Cup?
No. Oh, I don't know. No, she's a strong woman. I can't really speak for her. Yeah, her mindset, her determination, her strength, her grit, all those things got her through.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've always been amazed by her focus, and how she really did set the precedent for Australian female free skiers in slopestyle in particular. I think we've got Daisy Thomas now.
Daisy just got a spot into the World Cup, which is awesome.
Yeah, and she was on the World Cup last year. She has there is an element to Daisy that does remind me of Anna. And I think, this will be interesting to see if she evolves like Anna has, and if we'll get more podiums from within that discipline again. I mean, that would be awesome for us. I know the Kiwis are just freaking rocking it across all of it. I mean, they are serious free ski contenders. Yep.
They've got the formula dialed over here.
What do you think the formula is?
Oh, there's so much that goes into it. Their kind of performance development and how they work with their high performance athletes and the facilities they have, and just I don't know, whatever is in the water here in Wanaka that just produces these insane athletes. It's kind of, they've got a magic potion going over here in New Zealand. But I'm ready for the next wave of Australian athletes, kind of across all three disciplines. So ski and snowboards, male, female, free riders, another interesting one that's going to come into the mix in the future. I'm just ready for the next. I feel
like we have
takeover of Park and Park.
I feel like
we go with snowboard.
We can't. We do in snowboard. I mean, we can't. Like, no one can. Like, hello, we can't. No. Scotty James, Valentino Guseli. Like, hello, unbelievable. And Tess Coady, right? We also have in moguls, we've got Jakara and Matt and Charlotte. But, you know, Matt's probably going to move along soon. And the aerialists, who knows? Like, we don't know if Laura and Dani will be at the next Olympics. I personally highly doubt it. I think it's, 5 or 6 and then done, isn't it, in the aerials? But we do have Abbey Wilson and we have Airlie Frigo, who are coming up, who've both podiumed on FIS World Cup, which is great. But in that park and pipe in ski, Australia has been lacking on that podium level. Although we have Abi Harrigan, she just got a FIS World Cup last year podium.
Yep, for sure.
And I really like her because she's really just who she is, no excuses, no apologies, chill, loves what she does, great role model for young girls. And, you know, we also have in Jindabyne, I mean, Jindabyne like to think of themselves as, I'll probably get shot for this, as the Queenstown of Australia or the Wanaka of Australia. And to a certain degree, they are in terms of the Wanaka of Australia because of the new airbag jumps at the National Snow Sports Training Centre, which is off the freaking charts. The fact that we
place
now
is epic. Yeah,
isn't it amazing? Like that
it's
has
amazing,
just like if we don't get medals out of that, like we're doing something 100%. Seriously wrong. Threadbow having the half pipe the training half pipe. It's not a full Olympic length like Cardrona, but it does have the airbag at the end of it, thanks to Charles Beckinsale at Stomping Ground. And we also in the other side of Livigno, and I say that because one end is actually geographically one end is the snow park and the other end is the aerials and moguls. We have the water ramps up in Queensland. So theoretically, we should be doing as well as Wanaka. Wanaka punches above its weight when you come to per capita, really, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like 5 people that live there and like 10 that are winning medals. How does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a ratio similar to that. Yeah. It just attracts. I mean, I put it down to it's all these kids have the raddest parents. This place just attracts.
They do have rad
awesome
parents,
humans.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's kind of
do.
awesome humans move down here, produce these insanely rad kids. And, they've had kind of Jossie and the boys paved such a way in the Park and Pipe too, they're kind of role modelling, and they moved amongst everyone. Everyone grew up with them. An environment like Snow Park was formative, I truly believe.
Oh my God, Snow Park was
fantastic. Just like a crucible of performance down here.
Oh, it is. And the parents, I don't find the parents to be pofos, like parents of future Olympians. I find them... We call them pofos. They're the ones that are constantly emailing you or messaging you or calling you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and saying, why aren't you writing about my child? I'm like, well, has your child won a FIS World Cup yet? No. Well, that's why I'm not writing about them. So that's a bit mean. I shouldn't say that because there are some really great young athletes coming through. But the 2 kids that I'm really impressed with in Wanaka, and I always get the pronouncement of their name wrong, is Cam and Finn.
Melville Lives.
Thank you. Melville Lives.
Yeah.
I never say it properly.
Yeah.
I remember when they were little tackers and they used to send me, their parents used to send me videos of them skiing and snowboarding. And I put the videos up because they were great. And who doesn't love to watch a little tacker absolutely ripping the slope better than you can? I think they used to do a lot in Aomori in Japan. And now here they are representing New Zealand at the Olympics, already been announced as part of the team, winning FIS World Cups, X Games, competing at X Games. Are you judging X Games?
No, I don't believe so this year. It's pretty awkward timing, X Games this year.
Have you judged X Games before, though?
I have not judged X Games before. Right. I'd love to, actually. Got to add that one to the thing. Although, it's a different future for that.
Yeah. It's AI, isn't it? So what do you think about this AI judging?
I think it'd be naive of us to not embrace all the tools that are available for us in this day and age. I think as a supplement and a tool to assist us in judging, it's invaluable, and I can't wait for it to happen fast enough.
How is it
has
invaluable?
The ability to give.
Yeah.
We have the ability to then actually have objective measurables. So Halfpipe and AI video recognition software could tell us how high the athlete is going, how far they're traveling down the thing. The video recognition could actually interpret the spin amount, kind of taking all the little things that take up our time. It could transcribe our stenograph sheet, so we actually write a shorthand of the tricks. If we could have something that actually transcribed that, so as a judge, you're not like watching and trying to look down and remember to write all this stuff. If you your attention is purely on how the athlete is performing what they're doing, it would just take a lot more off our plate and kind of remove any errors in missing trick identification. So in that sense, I think it's invaluable and it can't come soon enough.
So bring it on.
But in terms of machine learning spitting out scores, that's flawed because it's as flawed as the data that it's fed. So you're just training human bias into this model, like they kind of found it that X Games trialing it. So I hope that it's not machines spitting out scores. I do hope that we're given tools. I think we'll get to use them a bit this season in different areas. That's my take on AI judging.
I think using it as a tool is great. You're right about spitting out scores. That doesn't seem to be fair. Because you just mentioned before, you're looking and are you counting in your head how many spins they're doing at the same time? Like, are you doing that?
There isn't time, and that's why you put in the pre-work. I just watch Instagram reels. You just have to kind of train your brain on how fast they're going and whether they land forward or switch, and just like hopefully, that's what has become actually like hard, and it's critical that you get that right because the athlete is putting a lot of work in, and that's incredibly important. And so, we do have time to get it right, but it takes time, and that's something that's not on our side of major events. So,
because the counting, I'm always like, if it's in slow-mo, repeat. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got that. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They did it that many times. But I guess I'm not judging, obviously. I'd be really crap at judging. I'd just be like, oh, that's a nice outfit. They looked quite good. It was graceful. They had a bit of pizzazz. They showed some jazz hands. Yep, that's great. Yep. They can win. I'd be all about the performance over the execution. But in the slow-mo, I can watch it. So because you're constantly training yourself by watching over and over and over again, when you see somebody take some air and they do something as simple as a 1080 or whatever, you've already figured out what that is just by looking at it.
Yeah, you kind of learn. You can the way that they take off and set. Your brain instantly goes, "Oh yeah, it's going to be this-ish,"
Right.
And then you watch how they land. As a caveat to this, we watch training intensely, so it's not like we rock up and people just throw down something we've never seen before and you're like, oh, what was that? So we're kind of watching every athlete train. It's slopestyle, we kind of get assigned to different sections and you're just watching everything that everyone's doing on that section and kind of almost, we write it down even, we have lists of what athletes are doing so you can anticipate a bit ahead of time what they're going to do, but then you're evaluating what they do on that day.
So you mean you're watching their training runs at the Olympics before
yep. So
you're aware of someone's going to put down some incredible trick that's new.
Yeah, ish. And then the Olympics, it's such a chess game. So
because are they going to show that to their competitors?
Well, that's the thing.
In training,
the days of kind of surprising the judges are getting a bit tricky now. Like there is a chess game of keeping something up your sleeve, and having that extra, especially when you're going through qualies and you get to finals, that extra. Exclamation mark on it to kind of get, but then if it catches you unaware and we all sit there thinking, what do you do with that? Or like we haven't got the scoring range isn't there to reflect it. So lots and lots and lots of homework goes into training. And when we get to the actual finals day, it's game day. So we kind of going then basing on all this work we've done.
What do you think about a subjective judge sport, people getting 100%, getting a perfect score?
We score out of 100. I think it's a bold move if it's not the very last run of the contest. You won't see many judges throwing out 100, but it's there on the scale.
Sean White got it.
He's a different story, isn't he?
He's a different being. Yeah.
X Games is a different beast too. Far out. It made for good TV. So at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you just mentioned before with slopestyle that you have, so how many judges are there?
Well, so I don't want to go too deep, but at the Olympics...
No, you can go deep. Let's go deep.
We can go deep. So at the Olympics, we use a different system that was developed by the snowboarders. It's called section-by-section judging. So it's a way of basically breaking down that slopestyle run into different compartments and a bit more like... It's not so much like mobile scenarios, but basically we scoring each feature rather than the overall run, like we would at kind of lower level comps. So there's 10 judges in total, one head judge, 6 judges are divided into pairs of 2, and they'll chop up that course of 6 features into groups of 2 features. So those 2 judges are paired up on, one section judge will do 2 rails, they'll do a rail and a jump or 2 jumps. All they watch all contest is those 2 features. All they watch all week of training in the lead up is those 2 features. We make spreadsheets of all the tricks that everyone's doing and work out ranges. So that's it. And then there's 3 other judges at the end that are judging composition and flow. So the variety of directions and grabs and kind of how the run's put together. And then this goes into a formula that FIS have come up with and it spits out a number at the end.
Do we know what that formula is? Is it like 30% this, 30% this, 30% this, or?
Ish, yeah. Ish.
Okay,
the kind of that overall, the composition and flow, the overall impression part of it, those 3 judges, they're weighted a bit heavier. And then the sections roughly work out to 10% each, so 60-40. It's not a super native format for us ski judges. It is for the snowboarders. They've been using it for quite a few years. So that's why I'll go away in a month to Dubai for the first World Cup of the season, and we'll use this format throughout this World Cup season. We fine-tuned it and tweaked it. There's kind of been calls in skiing to go back to the old overall impression style. I can see from both sides. What it does give is really good granular feedback to the athletes about how they're going on each feature compared to their peers, because you get a number. Like for the rail one of it, of course, you get your number out of 10, and you can see what everyone else's tricks and kind of performances scored on that.
Yeah.
What's happened when we've used it in qualifiers through to finals is that everyone is so talented. They can kind of do all the tricks in the bag. You know, the creativity is how you put a run together. The athletes that are able to just look at this spreadsheet that comes out and go, all right, that's the highest scoring trick on this feature. That's the highest scoring. And then just put together this run. So the runs would quite converge on their kind of similar formats when you use that. But to not get in too much detail, that's how we're going to be judging slopestyle at the Olympics, will be section by section. So on the screen, after an athlete finishes, the score will come up. There should be little kind of a breakdown of how they scored on each section. So people can kind of see, oh, they didn't do well on rail 1, but they did really well on the last 2 jumps.
Right. So, and that kind of lets the viewer know how that score came about.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So that theoretically, there won't be any people throwing things at the TV. Theoretically. Theoretically. Now, are you allowed to tell us who you're most excited to watch this season?
No.
No, bugger. Damn.
To be perfectly honest, the whole thing, wow. I mean, it's at such an exciting place right now.
Why do you think it's now? Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the tricks are ridiculous, kind of like beyond comprehension what these athletes are doing, and they're doing them so well. So kind of the gymnastic athletic side of it is so impressive at the moment. The kind of the strength and composure that they have is so impressive at the moment. Halfpipe's going through a bit of a renaissance too, especially with these new tours coming on board and kind of a bit of new life breathed into it with different athletes competing, coming from slopestyle across to halfpipe is really exciting. Big air, especially women's big air, is so sick. Like the progression of tricks that they're doing and the kind of the level of the contest is so exciting. So I'm excited for it all. And I can't really name names of who I'm most excited to watch.
I guess you can when you retire, right? But I can't see you retire. I can't see you retiring from judging any day soon.
Getting old.
I know. No, yes, but you don't have to. You're not the one on the skis, so it doesn't matter.
Oh no, but I mean it does. I'm kind of conscious of letting these athletes should be judged by a panel of their peers. So I'd be ready to let someone else young come in, but it's the hard part is getting other people into judging.
Would you go back to coaching?
Coaching's a tricky one. No, I don't think I could live the lifestyle of being on the road like that and standing on a jump knuckle again.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. You sound exhausted just even thinking about it.
I was actually thinking of how cold my feet got in Colorado standing around.
Oh, my God. Don't you put the toe? Well, I remember being at Pyeongchang at the bottom of the moguls course at like 8 o'clock at night for the finals. And there was 3 journos in the press pit. That's it. There was myself, Jacqueline Magnay and Glenn Cullen. And we had all of those sticky hand warmers you can stick on yourself. Yeah. But we had them all over our feet. All over our feet. And it still wasn't warm enough. It was minus 30 degrees Celsius or something ridiculous. And the competition was going on way too long. Listen to me, angry at the Olympics because the competition's going on way too long. Lavinia is going to be very, very exciting. I can't wait to see you there. Are you there for the whole entire time?
That's my plan, yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, that's a long time.
That's
3 weeks of competition. Will you go have a look? Will you go see some of the others like the downhill? In Bormio,
I'd love to. It's kind of.
Cortina?
I'm not sure about moving around. And
it's hard.
Credentialing and all the the Olympics are quite the beast.
They are the beast, aren't they?
I mean, it'll be such a refreshing because Beijing was the last one I did, and it was such a strange scenario of basically being locked down in a hotel bubble. So the freedom to move around will be really cool this year. I'm going to soak in everything that I can for this one.
I understand we can actually ski in Lavinia while the Olympics is on as well. So,
really?
Yeah, I know, right? I know. That's going to be the best. Well, that's what I understand. I could have been informed incorrectly. I will double check again, but I will be taking my skis. So we can go for a ski together for sure, although you will be down the bottom of the hill by the time I've even clicked in. But all good. No, 100%. I've just had knee surgery. I'll be lucky to even get in my ski boots, to be honest. Enough about me. Thank you so much, Tori Beattie, for joining us on the SnowsBest It Takes a Village podcast. Very, very excited to have you as an Australian judge at the FIS World Cup and the Winter Olympics in Livigno.
Sick. I know. I look forward to seeing you there, and good luck to all the Aussie athletes. And if anyone's interested in judging, hit us up. It's a good pathway.
Thanks for listening to the SnowsBest.com podcast. If you like what you hear, be sure to review and subscribe via your favourite podcast platform. Like @MissKnowItAll on socials and hit up the SnowsBest.com website for all your snow travel banter. This episode was produced on the land of the Gundungurra people. We pay our respects to the elders, past and present.